We meet again at last. The circle is now complete.
What's the world coming to?
Well, you got a problem with what I did, Anthony?
No. Hey, no.
Fucking rat anyways. Whole family's all rats. Would have grew up to be a rat.
Stupid bastard. I can't fucking believe it.
Gee, I'm real sorry your mom blew up, Ricky.
Now you're gonna dig the fucking thing. You're gonna dig the hole. You're gonna do it. I got no fucking line. You're gonna do
Fuck
it.
yes, I'll take the fucking hole. I don't give a fuck.
I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was pure and simply evil.
Jesus Christ. Mister, you okay in there?
Put some Vintage coffees around here someplace.
Have you any idea what the cost of your actions is? What their effects might be? Or are you to give them hope? What do you give them? We give them happiness. And they give us authority. Groovy.
All right, Graham, you're on the line with Nile.
Hi, Nile. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, how's it going, Verchere?
Doing good.
So, you're better known as Davy Armstrong, so maybe I should start calling you Davy Armstrong. So you're okay that today it's Friday. You happy about that?
Oh man, I love me a good weekend. It is summer break though, so every day is kind of a weekend now.
Well, that's great, man. So let me talk to you a little bit about Summer of '84. Just so you know, we both actually got a kick out of the movie. We enjoyed seeing it, so congratulations on that, buddy.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
So Summer of '84, it definitely has some 1980s love behind it. So my question is, do you think this popularity with the '80s is something that's really special with people, like it really connects back to their childhood? Do you say Summer of '84 connects back to some people's childhood?
I mean, there is definitely a wave, like as you can see in Stranger Things and It, and now Summer of '84, that wave of nostalgia is really popular right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it would be if it didn't have that, if it didn't work in getting this audience to think back to their childhood in the '80s and want to watch those shows because of it.
Yeah, I definitely feel you on that, man. I actually enjoyed Stranger Things and It. So, but do you think the popularity of Stranger Things and It, do you really think do you think Summer of '84 really separates themselves from other '80s themes projects?
I think, although they do have the same '80s thing, like you were saying, Stranger Things and It are very, very supernatural, but Summer of '84 is a lot more focused in reality and what would actually happen in this situation, which is what makes it more scary instead of having fighting superpowers in the '80s.
I understand what you're saying, and I actually like that a lot. It did feel more organic and real and something that could happen in our everyday life.
Yeah, exactly, because that's it's scary because that could actually happen if there was a serial killer on the loose.
Exactly. So I know you're a young guy, a young man, but do you have any favorite movies from the 1980s or a favorite '80s movie moment?
Well, I mean, you're right. Obviously, I wasn't alive then, but when we were getting ready for Summer of '84, before we started filming, my family and I went back and watched all of those classic '80s movies. And I'd already seen some of them, but we went back and rewatched them. So stuff like Goonies and Stand By Me, those were the ones we watched, and they're really fun.
I know, I love the Goonies. I did the Truffle Shuffle once when I was a kid, but that's a whole nother story.
Oh, no.
So I'm actually curious, how did you get into acting at such a young age, and what made you want to get involved in acting at such a young age?
So I have a twin brother. We both started acting at the same time because we had a cousin who was doing some acting as well, and we thought it looked really interesting. So our parents signed us up for a class, and from there, we got an agent, and we started getting some commercials and stuff. And my brother has moved on to do sports and stuff instead of acting, but obviously you can see I'm still doing it.
Yeah. Well, that's good, man. I like that. The passion is there. But without giving anything away, because one thing I really like with Summer of '84 is the movie's actually kind of quotable. I really found myself like remembering a lot of the dialogue days later. So what's your favorite line of dialogue in the movie? And is there a line of dialogue that really stands out to you and says something about one of your personality traits?
Oh my gosh. I have to pick one now. There's so many lines during filming that it was hard to keep a straight face. Stuff like, well, we play Manhunt a lot in the movie, and then I think Judah, who plays Eat, says to Caleb, who plays Woody, he says, Woody, take these dickweeds. We're going to go look for whatever. And then Woody goes and says, this way, dickweeds.
Yeah.
I think there's just so many lines just like that. The interactions between Caleb and Judah, or Woody and Eve, they're what made it the hardest to keep a straight face because they just improv so much, and they made the movie funny themselves.
Yeah, man, I got a kick out of those characters as well. Speaking of characters, are there any characters who stand out especially other than yourself, if you know what I mean? Like a character where you really get behind them?
What do you mean stand out?
Like, just a character that you, other than yourself, that you want to maybe see again, like another actor you would like to work with again in this movie?
Oh, I mean, well, I'd love to work with every single person that worked on that set again, given the opportunity, because, I mean, they made it such a fun time. But as for a character I'd like to see again,
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd like to see a little bit of the backstory behind Mackie.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I could see that working, actually.
Yeah.
And I'm actually not a actor or anything, but I am curious. Like, let's say you have a 5-minute break during rehearsal. What do you spend that time doing, if I may ask?
It depends on. I mean, it depends on so many things. It depends on the day. Sometimes I'll just go to my chair and sit down on my phone. But a lot of the time, I'll go get some food and just eat it between takes because I eat way too much food.
Oh, really? What do you like to eat?
Pretty much anything unhealthy that's in front of me. The problem is there's so much free food on set. There's a tent full of free food, and they give you free lunch. So more often than not, I'm eating on set.
Alrighty, that's cool, man. That's funny. I like that. Now let's fast forward and talk about today's horror. Are there any common qualities in horror cinema that you dislike today?
That I dislike. I think horror movies shouldn't rely too much on jump scares.
Okay.
Because that means it's only scary when you're watching the movie and you forget about it as soon as you walk out. But if it's like creepy and it actually gets you thinking about it and it makes you want to turn around if you're walking home alone at night. I think those are the best kinds where it actually freaks you out after the movie because it's not a cheap jump scare. It's actually genuinely terrifying.
Yes, exactly. So you've been on TV shows as well, like The Good Doctor and Fargo, correct?
Sorry, it just cut out for a bit, so I couldn't actually hear you.
Oh, you were on TV shows such as The Good Doctor and Fargo, correct?
Yeah, The Good Doctor and Fargo were very, very fun.
Well, I just have a question. What's the difference between working on a movie set and a TV show?
Specific differences. I think on a TV show, it usually works a lot longer. Like on a movie, you'll be done within a month or two. But on a TV show, you could be working with the same people for years.
Really, I
So,
did not know that.
Oh. Sorry?
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, because there's different seasons. They film each episode, and then there's always more episodes. And obviously, sometimes the crew will change, or the cast will change. Some people will leave, and some new people will join. But a lot of the time, it'll be similar people working there for ages. So depending on where you are in the show, it could be that nobody's really close at all if it's near the beginning, or like if they've been doing it for 8 or 9 seasons, they could be like best friends for life.
Yeah, I see what you mean by that. I didn't know that, so that's actually really interesting. So, what are some of the biggest challenges you had to overcome while filmmaking? Did you have any challenges at all? And if so, how did you overcome those challenges?
During filming, there was some. This wasn't really me that overcame them. There was some scheduling conflict between Good Doctor and Sommer, but I figured that out. During filming, though, I think the last few days on set, we filmed all of the last scenes of the movie, which you might know are fairly intense.
Yes.
So those, yeah, because it was also really late nights all the time. So it got really tiring on those last days, but we pulled through and we got something I think people will like.
Oh yeah, I think people will like it too, man.
Sorry to interrupt. Time for like 2 more questions.
All right, cool, man. So, what is one thing that a lot of early filmmakers do, and that's actually considered a mistake in the filmmaking game?
I'm sorry?
What is one mistake that most filmmakers and actors make, regardless of their experience?
What's the mistake that filmmakers make? Or
regardless of experience.
I'll have to think about that one. I think. No, here's one. I think it's not really. I'm not sure it's really the filmmakers that are making it, but I don't like it when movies are clearly just a grab for money, like when they make a sequel to a movie that shouldn't really have a sequel, but because it made a lot of money in theaters, they just want to make another one.
Amen to that. I agree.
Yeah, I think it's just really unnecessary, and it kind of just takes out like the personality. It's just money at that point.
Yeah, the heart is no longer in it.
Exactly.
So, one last question for you. If your character were on social media, what would they post and hashtag?
Oh my God, Davey is the right character to ask that question too. Davey, I think, is the type of person who would constantly be posting conspiracy theories. Like, he would be posting on the moon landing was faked, all of those websites. He would be posting, like, honestly, David would be the type of person who would not be completely convinced the Earth wasn't flat. That type of, like, no vaccines, Earth's flat. Maybe not to that extent, but Davey is that type of person.
All right, cool, man. So thank you so much for your time. Feel free to let the listeners know where they can find you on social media.
I'm on Twitter and Instagram, just at Graham Verchere, no caps, no spaces. Yeah, you can find the movie on most social media, just at Sommer84 or some variation of that.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time, and I really enjoyed this. I had a good time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so much for your time.
All right, have a good summer break.